with from that experience is like, Jesus Christ. Okay, and so I start, putting some questions out there too with my mom. I'm like, Mom, do you think that Gurudev is loyal to his wife? So I was feeling really shitty about, so he continued to make me believe that I was the only one. At times, we would be on phone calls and he would tell me that he was completely obsessed and in love with me. That sometimes, at some point soon, he would take me and we would run away somewhere in Asia to live together. And I mean, I didn't know what to think of those things. But then
you're 16, 17 at this point. You're 17.
Yes, I was 17.
And the abuse had been going on these healing sessions, or this.
So just to be correct,
for at least a year.
For the time frame, I want to be, chronologically correct. It started when I was 17. I was the summer of 1996. I was already 17. Okay. This took place for about a year, and basically we would see each other every month when we would come to town. There would be a healing session, and then there would be other meetings that were just completely private, where I would go to the yoga center where he taught, or not the yoga center where he taught. It was an apartment that used to be a yoga center where my mom worked, and it belonged to Narayan Kaur, who is his assistant in Rome and was a friend of our family for many years before we met Gurudev. And she would let him use the space when he would come to town. So he would invite me there, and sometimes we would sleep together, and sometimes I would give excuses to my mom, letting her know that I was going out with my friends, but really I was spending time with him. And other times, like my mom describes in her story, I would leave 2 hours earlier before school so I could, go and bring in breakfast. And those were the times in which we would regularly meet. Then there have been other special occasions, which were one time we went to, it was shortly after that first abuse that he asked me to go with him to New Mexico and Mexico after Yoga Festival in 1996. And that's what I did. I went with him. He kind of, took me to Espanola and dropped me off there while he went and did other stuff. In New Mexico, a bunch of other, sexual encounters did take place always. Not all of them under the umbrella of healing sessions at this point. That he kind of, I remember a car ride one morning at dawn where he stopped on the side of the road and I don't know what started to touch me all over the place. I remember a night at a hotel in Albuquerque, and that's where again there was that one. I don't know what he was doing. It was just playing his game, but we were all completely naked. There was a lot of foreplay and a lot of that, but we could not have sex, and we were not lovers. It was just like such a contradicting, conflictual events slash the perception was completely distorted, which I feel is what he continuously reinforced, a distortion. Yes. A perversion. Yes. It's that quality of the state of being that somehow he was cultivating and feeding, and I was involved in it and allowed him to. And it was early on at on the onset of the story, so I wasn't having all the doubts yet. And then
well, and you're talking about a relationship that was formed from the time that you came into at 11 to then 13 and meeting him and kind of like special attention. And he's, for framework, for those of you that not listening, or listening, Satnam Rasayan is very big all around the world. And Gurudev Singh kind of took this like next level kind of growth where he was very much like had the same persona as like Yogi Bhajan. It was kind of that same persona with women around him and people who traveled with him, and this level of like it's what we're seeing in other. It's still very open and prominent today, and I'm bringing this out because it's somewhat what you're describing, like the level of specialness. And then he brings you to Mexico and New Mexico. Like now you're traveling with him, and that's a special thing. It's not just you and him. You're in the entourage, and then you're getting special moments with him, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah.
Right. And can you give us
so awkward,
big in Europe, right? Like when he comes, it's kind of like big entourage and that same energy that we saw with Yogi Bhajan. Because I wasn't really involved in the Dharma around these years you're talking, so I just want the listeners to get that.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for all the the information you're enriching the story with, because these are all true things. And if I miss them, I apologize. I'm really grateful for you to complete where I'm lacking, because I'm just going through the storyline of what happened to me. But yes, there was this great, luminous, charming facade that it is appealing if you are a person with an open heart and trusting that this could be something good. Then it's easy to trip to
And your mom has a very close and significant relationship. She would be considered like the inner circle of his people at this time. Is that right?